Hello sweet friends and crafters, welcome to Carol's Craft Cottage. Today I have a tutorial for this project that you see in front of us. It's really hard to get it in the frame here correctly, but this is a project that was requested by one of my viewers, and I am going to show you how to put this together. Now, if you've been following along with me, you've known I've made several of these in different themes. I've made them in Halloween. I did a sunflower. I did a bee themed one. I'm trying to think what else. I made a lot. I'm not sure if I've done a Christmas. I have to go back and see because I want to make a Christmas one. But I love these and I do these a lot. So this is with the Cottage Girls from My Porch Prints, and this is a piece that can be used in home decor. It is exactly 12 inches tall and about 4.25–4.5 inches wide. And as you can see, there's a lot of detail in this. So I'm going to bring this forward. This piece lifts off like this. And you can see the Cottage Girls. And here's the peony, which I have a tutorial for that. And there's a peony up here. And these are flowers from a Scrap Diva design die. And I'll share the links to the dies in the description box below. This is called a Luminary die, and this is from Tim Holtz, and I'll show it to you in a little bit. And then we'll turn it around so that you can see. And all the papers in this are from the My Porch Prints Cottage Girls Junk Journal Kit. So this is the top part. And then I'll bring this in closer so you can see it. I have a little tea light in there. And this is a Cottage Girl. And this is some lace. A fence. I got a little hot glue there. You can see the fence with the little tulips along the fence. I wanted to make this like a garden. I also showed you how to do these flowers here. If you look through my tutorials, this is a 3D shabby rose, and we'll turn it around so you can see. There's the fence goes all the way around, and I'm going to teach you how to do all of that today. All right. So we're going to set this aside. This is beautiful. This is going in my, this set will probably go in my guest room because it matches everything in there. It's beautiful. I love it. Love it, love it. So let me reposition the camera so I can do a tutorial. So hold on while I lift you up. All right, I need to do just a little bit over. And hopefully we're good there. So you're going to need a candle holder, and this comes from the Dollar Tree, and all I did was spray paint mine white with just some regular spray paint from the Walmart. Okay, and let me go ahead. We're going to do the top part first, so I'm going to bring in all the pieces just for the top. I have a lot of pieces. Okay, the next thing I have, I purchased this on AliExpress. If I can find this, I will link it below. This is a lace that you see hanging down, and I like the way that looks. I will try to find a link for that for you. And let me go ahead and also share the dies with you before we get started. there's a lot to this, so forgive me for taking all this time. Okay, so this is the Luminary die. I know you're getting some reflection on that, but this is the Luminary die. It's long. You need a extender pad to cut this, and if you don't have this die, you can buy this. This is actually retired. You can buy it on the secondary market on eBay. They are expensive. I think I saw one for $54 on eBay, which is really a good price because it is retired. And so I'm going to share with you the other dies that I have. I have this one. This die I've had for a long time. It's from Amy Designs. I don't even know. This is called Find It Media. I don't even know where I got this on the internet. I'm not sure. I'll see if it's still available, but I love, love, love that fence. It's so realistic. I use this Elizabeth Craft die. This is 1133 CountryScapes Garden Edge Tulips. And I've had this for a while too. I'm not sure if that's available. I've used this. This is a Sizzix big die, and it's called Corners Flourish number 2. Like I said, I'll look and see if I can find it, and the die number is 656554. Then I got this from AliExpress a long time ago. This is a fence. You don't actually need this die if you have the Martha Stewart fence punch or any type of fence that you have in your stash. And with the longest post on this fence, this is 1 inch wide. So yeah, 1 inch wide. I use this for my leaves. I actually use this, and this is a Sizzix Thinlits die, and it is 662702. And last but not least, I use this. You don't need to use this for what I did, but I use this to cut my circles to cover my Laughing Cow cheese box, and I will give you the measurement of the circles that I cut. Previously, I have cut them with a circle cutter, not a die. So here is my Laughing Cow cheese box, and for this particular project, I chose a double Laughing Cow cheese box. I don't even know if you can get these anymore. I've had this for quite some time. They have the single box, the single layer. This is a double layer, and the single layer works just as fine. These were already spray painted, so I grabbed them. And the only difference between the single and the double is the height. The width and everything is the same. So I cut, excuse me, excuse me. I cut this at 4 inches. So this is a 4-inch circle. So you're going to cut a 4-inch circle for the top and the bottom. I distressed around the edges. And then out of my designer piece of cardstock, I cut at 1 5/8. And I cut 2 strips and pieced it because 1 strip does not completely go around it. So that's how I did this. So remember, if you have a Laughing Cow cheese box, if you're going to use that, that's fine. I will show you something else you can use if you don't have Laughing Cow cheese boxes. And this is something that you can get at the Dollar Tree, these little circles. This comes from the Dollar Tree. It's Craft Artisan Floral Foam, and you get 2 pieces. They're 4.8 inches by a 0.75 inch. So this works as well. You can see right here. It's just a little bit bigger than the Laughing Cow cheese box, and that's fine. This will work. And all you're going to do is you're going to cut your paper wide enough to fit on top of here, and then cut a strip to go on the edge here. That's all you need to do if you don't have Laughing Cow cheese boxes. So that's how to put that together. And then at one point we're going to glue this on top of here. All right. So we're going to go ahead and start making the lantern. All right. So you will cut. You can cut 2 at a time. The lantern pieces. So I have 4 pieces here, and I've already folded them and I've already done the edges, so this won't be a long tutorial. So what I did after I folded all the pieces and I distressed the edges that I wanted to, I'm going to put in my acetate windows. So you'll cut your acetate for this at 2 3/8 by 1 7/8 wide. You'll need 4 pieces, and you're going to glue the acetate windows in the center of your 4 pieces. So let me get my glue. Hopefully I don't have to unclog this, but we'll see. So to start with, you're going to take 1 window and glue it to this part right here. Yep. Oh, here we go. It's coming out. Yay. So we're going to glue it right here. And I should say that we should do this first. Put the glue on this piece, these little tabs. I'm going to fold on the score lines on these little tabs. It's easier if you put the tabs in first. Okay, so we're going to... Oh, I'm going to show you. I didn't show you how to fold these. There's a little trick to folding these, and that's important. I'm getting ahead of myself, but we'll go ahead and glue this together because we've got 4 sides to glue, so I'll show you how to fold these. So you need to hold that a little bit. And put this one behind here. And I want to make sure that that little tab is straight. Okay. Now we can bring this in. Yeah, see how much easier that is to bring that in once you glue the tabs together. And all this is printed cardstock, the Georgia Pacific from Walmart. That's all this is. There's nothing heavy about it or anything. And I'll show you how to do the top later. So that's how you put that together. But to fold, you're going to, I don't know if you can see the fold lines here, but to fold this, you're going to mountains and valleys on the bottom part of this luminary. I don't want to call it a lantern because it's a luminary. So you're going to fold it this way. Okay, that's your first mountain. Then you have your valley, which is that one right there. And then you have another mountain. And then you're going to bring it up for a valley, so that you've got this. And then you just pull it down a little bit. So you have your mountain, your valley, your mountain, your valley. And then on the top part, you're going to fold this towards you and then back like that. And then you want this to be like a type of tube up here. So you're going to fold that down so that you get something that looks like that. And I'll turn it to the side so you can see it. That's how you want to fold it. And this is how you want to fold the bottom. So mountain, valley, mountain, and valley. So it looks like that, and then you just pull it down. So now we're going to glue this one onto here. And again, we're going to do the tabs first because it's easier to do this piece. And I do go ahead and put the glue on there because while I'm getting the tabs, that starts to get sticky and I have a faster grab. That's just a little hint. So do that one. I got to be patient and hold it. And then we glue this one inside here. And then we're going to go and put this one inside this little tube that we made. And hold it there. And then we're going to put this on here. You do have to hold it a little bit. All right, this one's not sticking here. All right, and there we have this one. Put this a little bit, move it a little bit. All right, I held that. Now we are going to go to the last window. And this one will have to be stuck 2 times on each side. Make sure you fold on your little score lines on your tabs. Okay, we're going to attach this side first. And I always start from the bottom up because it seems to go easier for me that way. I'm going to put this one behind here. Hold it. And then put this one in the little tube. This on top of here. Okay. And then we're going to slip this on top of here. It is all fingers, it feels like, trying to do this on camera. And here we go. Make sure this is in there. Yep. Good. All right, one more side. All right. This should be the easiest, right? It's almost together. I'm going to try sticking this side next before I go all in. All right. Okay, then we'll put this one in, and we'll slip this one, and we are good to go. That actually worked out. And as you can see, you're going to have a little bit of space showing here, and that's fine. That's happened on every single one I've ever made, and it's fine. It's not anything that I don't know if it's supposed to be like that, but it doesn't affect this at all. So now what we're going to do is we're going to glue, make sure that's in there. We're going to glue these on each other. So make 2 flaps go in like that. And we're just going to tack it down. I don't think I have enough glue in there. Okay, I'll hold that down while I'm putting glue underneath these. We'll hold this one. So this is the top of your luminary. Let's see how we did. Yeah, this one appears to need a little bit more sticking. Okay, now we're going to make the roof. We're going to put this to the side, and we're going to make the roof, and you're going to cut 2 of these pieces. There is 1 on the die. You'll need to cut 2, and then you're going to fold on the score lines. So for this score line, you can see I've distressed my score lines. You're going to want to fold that score line this way in half, and then you'll fold this down and this down, and then this is the little tab you glue. Okay, so again, this is your roof piece. You're going to fold it in half on this piece on the score line, and then you're going to fold it down on this score line and down on this score line. So it looks like that, and then you're going to fold over on this piece. Now we're going to put this together like this, and it almost seems impossible, but it's not. So let's go ahead and put that on here. So this is the piece that has the flap for the other side, so we're going to take this and lay it right on top of here. All right, and we're going to hold that a little bit and let that stick. And I have a little bit of coffee here. I couldn't take a drink because I'm coughing. All right, so then we're going to come to this side. We're going to put glue on this little piece right here, this little tab. And we are going to lay this piece on top of here. And we're going to we're going to hold it while it takes a hold. All right, we're going to put this aside, and I'll show you what to do next. I want this to dry a little bit because I need to invert this diamond shape here. This one, and I don't want it to cut apart. It's got to go like this, so it's not that way yet. So I'm just going to set that aside and let it stick, and then we're going to do the bottom of the lantern. This is the little piece that you're going to put your little electric or battery operated tea light on. So you only need to cut 1, and then you could see I distressed all my little edges like I wanted to. And there are 4 tabs on here, so we're going to glue this together to make a little, it almost looks like a box bottom. And I've got to hold it. And one more. All right, so what I do at this point is I have some little pieces of scrap. And what I'm going to do, and it doesn't matter if it, you know, I don't have to cut that off or anything because I'm just using this to make a little place to glue this down. So you just put it inside here and then cut about 1/4 of an inch or something like that. And then fold it over that box top like that. And now we're going to take this piece and we're going to glue it on the piece that we had up against here. We're going to glue it like this. And this is going to attach to the Laughing Cow cheese box so that this doesn't move. So all I do is stick it in here and then I fold it over the box. I know I probably could measure this, probably be easier, but this is how I do it. Just fold that back. And this piece that I had up against the box, I'm going to glue it. It doesn't have to be pretty because it's not going to show. And I'm going to do it all the way around the edges. And the last side. Okay, so you see what I've done here. I made like a little lip, and then what I do is I go ahead and put some glue onto these flaps. And then I bring my Laughing Cow cheese box, and this is going to be the top of my lantern. So I'm just going to center it right on here. Make sure we got it. Since I used gingham paper, I want to center it into the squares correctly. And just press down a little bit, and see, you can't see that paper at all. Press this one down a little bit. But yeah, that's what I do to hold that in place. Okay, and like I said, this is where your tea light is going to go. And then we're going to go back to the roof. And these pieces that I've glued, I've got to fold them the other way. So I have to make a valley. Instead of that being a mountain, it's got to be a valley. So valley, 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 valley. And this is your roof part. And then you're going to bring these points down. All right, and we're going to bring the luminary in. And these little points go on top like this. So we're going to glue these down on these corners. Well, darn. All right, I'm going to put glue on this one because we're going to need to hold this down again. If you can see here, I'm going to glue, and we're going to hold that so it'll stick. So this is going to be a long video. This is a long process. All right, then we'll go to this side. And I did make some of these luminaries for my son's wedding. And they were beautiful. Okay, and we're going to take this and we'll hold it down. All right, and we got this one didn't take. Look how pretty that is. Oh, so pretty. All right. So now we're going to put this aside and let it dry, and we're going to work on the base, whatever you used. And the first thing we're going to do before we put on the lace is we're going to put a fence around it. And I did it this way because I wanted it to look like a garden. So I'm going to leave a space open in the front for my flowers. And so I'm going to start gluing about right there and go around the top of this base. So I'm going to start putting the glue on my fence. And yes, it's tedious. But it's all in the details, right? Details, details. Okay, so we're going to leave a little bit of space, and I cut my fence on the 110-pound cardstock because I wanted it to be a little bit sturdy. Okay, so there we go. And you can see I put it, it's about 1/4 of an inch down on this. And I need more fence, so I have another piece. And to do this, you're going to find this fence post right here, and that'll glue on top of that one. And then I'll put about this much glue. I don't think I need this much fence. We're just gonna eyeball it. So like I said, you can use your, Martha Stewart had a fence punch at one time. There's a lot of companies that have fence dies out there, so use what you have. It'll look nice. I used 2 different fence dies on this, as a matter of fact. So let's see. I think we're going to go to this Picket fence right here, and we're going to snap this off right here. And we'll make sure that that is together and straight. Okay. All right, we have that right there. And now comes the time that we should probably put it on the base because it makes it easier. And I know you can't see that, but we're going to glue this piece into the center of our base. And I do use my art glitter glue around the top. I guess I could do it this way so you could see it. I have used hot glue before, but I find that this type of glue is better. This won't pop off the base. So I'm going to turn this over and center it on my base. And I'm going to go off camera a minute to make sure I got it centered. And I do. I'm going to flip it over. All right. And I'm going to hold it down for a little bit. Now, whatever lace you have, you don't actually have to buy this lace. It's whatever you have in your stash. You're going to start in the front here and start putting it around. And don't worry about the seam because it's all going to be covered by flowers. So we're going to start putting this on our base. So I start by putting some of this on here. You could use hot glue if you want. I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to start in the center. And I'm going to go around. This part is hard to show. And this is what it's looking like. Oopsie, trying to show it, and then this comes off. All right, we gotta. All right, I have to put some more glue on my lace. All right, I'm going to bring it to the front here. And because this has a dangle, I'm going to cut this so it matches up with the other dangle. Okay. And we need some more. Okay, now I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to let that dry. And I'm going to take this piece that I have left over here out of the way because we have a lot of flowers to put on. So I realized now that I'm here that I forgot to cut out matching girl. But that's okay, you'll get the point. So I'll show you on this one here. You can see I have a little girl that I glued right here, and this is the one that I forgot to cut out. So you're going to, I want mine to match. So if you're making two, make sure they match because it's nicer that way. So we're going to go ahead and decorate this luminary top. And I will be skipping this piece because I forgot to cut this little girl. So I will not be putting this peony or the little girl on my luminary until after because I need to cut her. So as you can see here, I have some trim on here. So I'm going to take that trim, which is, I've showed you this before, and I wanted to use it in everything so everything coordinated. It's these stone stickers, they're called, from Angel Craft. And I'm going to take them out of here. And I'm going to go around my luminary. You can use any type of pearls that you have in your collection. I know Dollar Tree sells the pearls that you can put on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around on this little tube that we made. I'm going to decorate that. And you just match that up because these aren't very long pieces. Go around this top. Until you get to the beginning, and then I'm going to snip this off, and I'm just going to use it on the bottom somewhere. Now the next embellishment area I'll show you is this fold right here. So we're going to put it along this area. And that needs to be straight. Here we go. All right, and we're to the end. And I'll cut this little piece off. Okay, so we have that done. Now we're going to come to the top. And I see this still did not glue down. And we are going to pick what we want for our front. This looks good to me. And we're going to make I have ribbon right here. This comes from Hobby Lobby. It's 1.5 inch. And I'm going to make just a regular bow. Make sure your loops are about the same size, and then cut your tails. All right, and we're going to put that on top of here. And this helps to hold our flowers in place. And I'll put a big thing of glue in there. Okay, for my front portion, I have, peony. This is the smaller size peony. This one is going to go on the top here, like this. So I'm going to put that on the top of my bow. And then I have another matching peony. And this one is going to go on the back of the luminary to hold this one up. So we're going to put a bunch of glue on this. And we're going to put it like this. And I'm going to make sure I have enough glue in there for that to stick together. Then I made two little, let me see if I can find it now. Yeah. These are also Scrap Diva flowers. I made two little ones of these to go along this side, like this, to stick in here. And I need some glue sticks now. Bring these in. And this is the back now that we're putting this on. I'm going to stick this right here with the peony. I know that's hard to see, but that's how that goes. Then we're going to go back to the front, and we have some of these little roses. These are from Scrap Diva Designs, and these are going to go on either side of the peony on the top of our luminary. And it's like this. And we need one for the other side. And we're going to slip this right under here. I know this is hard to see. It's hard for me to do on the camera and get it right. Let's see. And my thing let go here. All right. Let me go ahead and tack this down with some hot glue, since it's going to give me some trouble. Okay, that's what you should have. Nope. All right, let me hold that down. And then I'm going to pull this down a little bit so it's not covering the rose as much. Okay, so that's what your top looks like. And now we're going to put a couple of butterflies. We're going to put one on the corner right here. Pretty, right? And then we need another one. Here's the other butterfly. And we're going to stick him right here. Okay. Now at this point, I would have put on, if I had the correct girl here, I would have put her here And then this small peony, I would have put this like this and then this here. But I don't have the right girl, so I'm not going to do it right now. But that's what you would do next. And then this piece, you're going to flip over. And let me see if I can find the other girl I have. Let's see where she is. I remember seeing her, but there's another girl. I had put this one on the back piece. But I don't see her here. Oh yeah, here she is. So we're going to go to the back. And we're going to put this girl. Just put some regular glue on her. And she's going to go right here. Okay, and then let's see. I don't think I have it. Yeah, I forgot that too. I need another butterfly, so I need to make another one of these because you need a butterfly up in this corner right here. Okay, so that's what I can do so far with that. And we're going to set that aside. And this is what you should have right now. You should have a butterfly here, your flowers, and then this is the front, 2 butterflies, a girl, flowers, and flowers, and your bow. That's what you should have on your luminary. Now we're going to work on the base. And I got my base from, this is from Dollar Tree. They have these packages of wood bases that are 4.5 by 4.5. And all I did was spray paint this. And then I cut my designer paper right here at that same cut at 4.5, 4.5. And we're going to glue these onto the base. So I spray paint my base and I also cover it with paper. I guess you wouldn't have to actually spray paint the whole base. You could just use some paint to paint this so that was white, but even that's going to be covered up, but I just do it. Okay, that's bottom piece. And then this goes on top. So as you can see here, I have this right here that's sticking out. And all I do is take a little nail file and it comes right off. Okay, now we're going to put our fences around this. So I cut out 8 fences, and what I'm going to do is cut the bottom off so that this, and I need a different pair of scissors. I don't like those for what I need to do. Okay, so I'm going to cut the bottom portion of this off, and I'm using this as my guide. So I'm cutting this. Okay, and I need to fit this on one side. So what happens is I need to cut, let's see how I did this. Okay, fits like this on this one side. So I cut, let's see how I did this. I know I cut. Oh, yeah, that's right. I have to cut this off. I cut this one off. I have to remember what I did, right? Cut that off. And then we cut okay, we're putting it up against here and going to see how many we need to cut off. All right, so I'm going to cut these two off right here. So cut the one on the edge and these two, and then we're going to glue them together. We'll glue this one on top of this one, and yeah, that fits. So we'll glue this one and this one together. Perfect, right? And then it's going to be glued onto here. Okay, let's do the next side. Okay, we cut this one off. And then we cut these two off on the opposite side. And we also need to cut the bottom even. And the same with this one. And glue these two posts together. We'll take our base and bring this in. And you can see I'm putting glue along the bottom of the fence. And we'll lay it in the center. All right, you see how it's coming along. Don't worry about this. It'll look good when it's done. Be fine. All right, we can put that on that side. Let it glue. We're going to do the next side, which we cut one off on the left and two off on the right. Now maybe whatever you're using, you don't have to cut the bottom, but I do. I mean, if you have the Martha Stewart punch, you could, or a different type of fence, you could always use this fence. This is just the one that I wanted to use because I wanted a larger fence. for the bottom because I wanted to put the tulips. You don't even need to put the tulips, or you could use stickers, flower stickers for your flowers. Use what you have in your stash. This is just showing you how I made this. And I'll center this. And I have one more side. One on the left, two on the right. Oh, gotta cut the bottom. And I also cut the fence on 110-pound cardstock, just because I wanted it a little bit sturdier than regular cardstock, because you have a tendency to grab that area. Okay, so we're going to put the last one on here. Oh, I could put that back till I get this. Bring this in and put it here. All right, there is our base with the fence all around it. Now I cut out my Elizabeth Craft tulips, and as you can see here, for my base, I need 2 less tulips, so I cut it right here. And then I used some glitter paper, some pink glitter paper for my tulips. And I've already glued those on, so you don't have to watch me do that. That's tedious and a long process. So now I'm going to glue this to the bottom of my fence all the way around. And like I told you, I am going for a garden, my Cottage Girls in a Garden. And I should have put a little dot on the back of these tulips. I didn't. So I'll just lift them up here. Like I said, I know this is going to be a long video. I'm really sorry about it, but this is a big project. Okay, we're going to do the next side. This one right here. Now what I do for my little corners so that they don't fold in from each other is I put a little dot of glue and I bring them together. Put my finger over that and that'll keep my fence together. And I'm going to put just a little dot of hot glue here on this side and put this fence, run my finger over that. Just takes a little excess off. And I'm going to do that over here, just a little bit. Run my finger over it. And then this one as well. And most of them are touching anyway, but this will give you some stabilization. Okay, now we've got 2 more sides. Okay, we'll bring this in. It's coming along pretty, isn't it? I have a fence around my home, and I would love to have tulips in front of it like that, but I do not have a green thumb. And it seems it's too hot here for any plants. All right, let's see. Okay, this is the last one. All right, now we've got that base part done. And we're going to bring in this part. Make sure this is dry before I fool around with it. We're going to put this aside because now we are going to decorate the base. And I have one big flower. Let me see, that's for this is for the bottom. These pieces right here for the bottom. Oh, I didn't show you this. This was the butterfly die. I'll leave a link below for that. It's the same one I've been using throughout this Cottage Girl collection. So let me go ahead and do this. So I have cut one of these out of that die I showed you, that Sizzix die. And I don't want the flower to be directly in the middle of this. I'm going to skew it to the side a little bit. So I am going to glue this to the side. And I'm going to do it with hot glue. And I'm going to put it to the side like this. All right, my center point for my flower is this one, and it's going to go like this because this is going to be on the base, so this will be grazing the bottom of the base like a flower garden. So we're going to put hot glue on it. I'm going to flip it over. And we're going to put it like this. Okay. And then we have this one. Okay. The 3D Shabby Rose. I'm going to put hot glue on that. And I'm going to hold it like this. And I'm going to put it next to this peony like this. Let's see, we'll lift this up here so that you can see that. And you can still see this piece. And then I'm going to come over to this side and I am going to put this under here so you could still see this pink. Lift it up a little bit. And I'm going to put this just like this, if you could see it, on this base. Okay. So lift this and put this behind here and squish it up in there and hold it. All right. So that you have something that looks like this. All right. So the flowers are to the side, not exactly in the front. All right, then we're going to take this, now that we have completed that, and we are going to glue it to the center of our base. So for this one, I'm going to, I can't do this on camera. It's really hard to show you because it's such a big piece for the camera. I'll show you once I get the glue around the bottom of the candle holder. So for this particular thing, I use my art glitter glue, and then I go on the inside with hot glue. I need some more hot glue, and I'll show you that in a minute. I put two types of glue on it. So there's the hot glue and the other glue. And I'm going to put the front right here in the center, just like that. Make sure it's centered and press down. All right. Now I picked the twins. There are twins in the Cottage Girls, and these are the twins. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these into the garden. And I'm going to put this little girl in the back a little bit from the other girl. Okay, so I'm going to stick this one. I put a glob of glue, and don't worry, it looks okay in your scene. And I'm going to stand her up in the back here. And I'm going to go turn this around, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue in the back of her. And I'm going to let it drip. And that way it'll help her stand up. Let me get it, see if you can see her. She needs to cool off a little bit. And then I can show it to you. And for this little girl, which is going to go right here in the front, all you have to do is put some of the art glitter glue on her. So I put just a couple lines because she's going behind this fence. And right, you could just touch her right to there. So let me see if I can lift this up. See how I have them? One at the fence and then one behind. I think that's so cute because they are twins. All right, let me see if I put anything in the back. No. Okay, so this completes the bottom part, I'm sorry about that, of your decor piece here. I had to take a drink. Okay, now we are going to do the front of the base. So let me see if I can tilt this up a little bit. Well, I'm sorry about this if I'm making you dizzy. Here we go. You'll be able to see this now. All right, my piece that goes behind is going to be this, which I told you I cut 2, and we're going to use this one to coordinate with the bottom, and we're going to put it right here. Using some hot glue to center this. Okay. All right, now the top is this right here that I created. And these are from that Sizzix die. So we're going to put this like this up here. Okay. And I'm looking at my other luminary so that these match. And it goes right here. I'm going to put the top on so I get this correctly. All right, so I'm going to push it up. All right, that's where I want it. Hold it there for a little bit. And I have this pink shabby rose. I'm going to put some hot glue on that. And we are going to go up under this leaf and put that right there. Okay. Then we have this other shabby rose. Put some hot glue on that. And that one's going to go on this side, up under, like that. For our little garden. Then I cut several of these. These are from that Sizzix die again. And we are going to pop them in so that we have these little sprigs of gold coming out of our flower arrangement. Let me clip this. This is like a little piece on the excuse me, the lace. All right, we're going to put some hot glue on back of that, and then we're going to put this behind and put behind this flower a little bit, and we're going to have it go up. Oh, this is hard to do with your camera in your face. Come on, baby. Okay, here we go. All right. Bend that fence over a little bit. Okay, we got that. And then we're going to have one go up underneath and down. So I'm going to put on both sides here. We're going up underneath this side and down like that. Okay. And we're going to do the other side so it matches. And we're going to go up underneath here. Like that. See how that's coming along? It's a piece I just put on. And then we have one more. and this one's going to be pointing down. And we're going to go up underneath this flower like this and have it down like that. Now you can see that one. Okay. And I have one more thing to do, which I had done on the other one, is on the back of this, I had put a little butterfly. And I thought that was enough decoration on there, because this is pretty elaborate as it is. Okay, so I still have the little girl to put on the front of the luminary, which I will have to cut her out after this. And so this goes on the top like this. Okay, and I have one more thing to show you. So my little girl will go here, and this little flower will go here. And then you have one more little girl. I chose this one right here, and she goes right here. So let me go ahead. I'm just going to use some of the glitter glue, and I'm going to stick her right here, standing up in the flowers. Let's see. Come out, come out. Right here. Just like that. And there you have this project. If you stuck with me for this long, I really appreciate it. I know this was a long video, but if you want to create this piece, that was everything that you needed to know about it. I hope that you enjoyed it, and that you, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Don't forget to hit the like button and the notification bell so you know when I have posted a video. Until next time, remember to sprinkle kindness like confetti wherever you go. Until the next video, happy crafting. Bye-bye.